Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Bree Kimberly. I am a Community Health and Wellness Coordinator at North Kansas City Hospital. We have an awesome presentation today, a very interesting presentation. It's about the VA's Medical Foster Home Program. And so this is an incredible initiative by the Department of Veterans Affairs that offers a compassionate alternative to like a traditional nursing home for veterans. And I'm particularly excited about this presentation because it highlights the positive impact the program is making on the lives of our veterans. So, whether you're a veteran in need of care, or maybe you have a neighbor, or you have family seeking options for a loved one, I think this might be a great presentation for you to find a great alternative. So, let me introduce you to our speaker. Her name is Kimberly Ludwig. She is from the VA, and she is the Medical Foster Home Coordinator and a licensed clinical social worker at the Kansas City VA Medical Center. Kimberly has been at the VA for 10 years, primarily a background in clinical mental health. She was a supervisor for the VA Mental Health Clinic for several years and stepped down from management the last year to rebuild and expand the Medical Foster Home Program. So please help me in welcoming Kimberly Ludwig as we dive into the details of this awesome program. So take it away, Kimberly.
Thank you, Bree. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, thank you for having me and thank you for allowing me to share this unique program to your audience. I've got a brief presentation and a small video at the end. And if anyone has any questions, they can certainly send me an email or reach out to me on my VA cell phone. Okay, so what is a medical foster home? I think everybody has heard of a traditional foster home for children. And this is unique because this is a foster home pretty much very similar to a foster home for children. This is fostering our senior veterans. This is unique to the to the national VA healthcare system. This is nationwide, and this is, as Bree indicated, this is an alternative to long-term nursing home or assisted home care. So the veterans actually move into a caregiver's home. So me as the coordinator, I source these caregivers out in the community. These are just regular lay folks who have a love of being a caregiver. I also source the opposite end of the referrals and getting veterans in place safely into these homes. And then I have oversight of the program administratively. So like I said, these veterans move into the caregiver's home. The veteran is cared for by these caregivers. It could be, a spouse, it could be husband and wife, it could be partners, it could be, two sisters living together. It could just be one caregiver living in the home, but all caregivers have backup caregivers as well. So the veteran moves into the home and they really are cared for with all their ADLs, ideally until end of life, just as they would normally go into assisted living or a nursing home setting. They are moving into a family home. They are integrated into the family. So this is a family model versus a business model, meaning they are integrated into the family as if they were part of the family, as if they were their grandfather or grandmother moving into the family, into the home, and cared for their medical needs. These are veterans that normally they're either living in their homes by themselves unsafely and unable to care for themselves, or they normally would be placed in a facility. So these homes, the medical foster homes, do not have to be licensed. Missouri and Kansas do not require this program to be licensed because there's only 1, 2, or 3 veterans in the home. So it's a very small integrative program. So this is not, when I mentioned the family model, that's indeed why they don't have to be licensed. So if they were, these homes had more than 3 veterans, then of course they would need a state license because that would be considered a business model. They have multiple people, they would be caring for. So that kind of cuts through a lot of additional red tape without having a state license to be required. So the Kansas City VA is the oversight, the overarching program, or the overarching big brother, if you will, having oversight of this program. So these are private contracts that the veterans and their family and the caregiver signs. So this is a private contract financially between the veteran and the caregiver. So the veteran does have to pay a monthly fee to be, living with the caregiver, because that obviously costs, quite a bit of money to care for 24/7. And that contract is provided by me. So I provide a blank contract, but the caregiver is the one who sets the monthly fee. Right now, as I mentioned, this is a private contract. In the near future, the VA will be paying for those veterans that are 70% service connected or higher. That goes up to 100%. So those veterans that are 70% service connected or higher, eventually the VA will pay for the medical foster home program. But right now, those veterans are all paying privately. The range in this area ranges around $3,000 a month. So I let the caregivers know that they're the ones who kind of set that rate. But I explained to them that if they set too high of a rate, let's say, they want a rate of $5,000 a month, I do let the caregivers know, or the potential caregivers know, that if they set too high of a rate, I cannot guarantee referrals, because a lot of the veterans are not able to pay more than around $3,000 a month. So that's kind of the going rate right now. As I mentioned, all caregivers have to have a backup caregiver. So with this program being 24/7, if they, go on a trip, or they go on, go out to dinner or something, they either have to have a backup caregiver for a short-term few hours or a day, or if it's a long-term situation where they're going to be going on vacation, then of course we will do out-of-home respite care. The VA also provides a home-based medical primary care team. So the primary care team is the medical team that comes in the home to provide the primary care for the veteran. So any specialty care, the veteran will go to the VA to be seen, but the home-based primary care team is a multidisciplinary team that comes to the home and provides the in-home care and accessible to the caregiver as needed. As I mentioned, this is a national program. So currently, the VA has over 700 veterans enrolled and approximately 500 caregivers in 48 states. So that's a nice number of veterans that are, staying out of, long-term facilities and choosing to live in a family home. So that's pretty cool that we've got that many veterans now, and the programs are expanding. Okay, so the criteria for the caregivers is the caregivers obviously have to be 18 years or older, obviously an adult. Most of the caregivers that I have been in contact with, I would say the average caregiver age is maybe around 40 to 50. Currently, Kansas City, so let me back up. So Kansas City, pre-COVID, we have around 4 to 5 homes. During COVID, that really dwindled down. And when I took over this program last year, we did not have any homes in the Kansas City area. So I am trying to rebuild this program and seek caregivers and vet them so they can open their homes and bring in at least 1 or 2 or 3 veterans. So the backup caregivers, we actually changed this age from 18. It used to be 21 to 18, because what we've seen in some of the caregivers' homes is they have 18-year-old, 18, 19, 20-year-old young adults that are finishing high school, going into college, and they've actually been some of the backup caregivers. So nationally, dropped the age down to 18 to accommodate several of the homes who have their own child still living in the home to help, be the backup caregiver. So all caregivers have to go through and be cleared through a VA federal background check. So this federal background investigation is a pretty tedious process. And that's really the first thing that I do once I meet a caregiver, a potential caregiver. When I meet them face to face, I meet them in their home. And once I hand them the application, if they're very interested, and things look, the stars look like they could align, then I will move forward on the federal background investigation, and I start that process with them, which requires fingerprinting and a whole series of a questionnaire for them to be able to get through and be cleared on. So all caregivers, they do provide the 24/7 on hands-on care. They often take very strong pride in their cooking abilities and cooking home cooked meals for their veterans. The veterans often, really talk a lot about the home cooking compared to either a nursing home or a facility that they either moved from or that they've been in the past. So let's see. I mentioned the home-based primary care team. So they're the ones who actually provide the care plan, and the caregivers do adhere to that care plan. I do the monthly unannounced visits. So I pop in monthly, unscheduled, to check in on the veterans, see how they're doing, how are they settling in, how are they liking the home and their caregiver. And of course, I'm advocating and I'm a strong supporter of the caregiver to be able to check in with that person and see how they're doing and taking care of themselves. And then there's twice a year we do caregiver trainings. There's a whole list of topics that I provide and other disciplines provide for the caregivers. The caregivers do not have to come in with any kind of specialized training. They don't have to have any kind of medical training. They're just regular folks, like I mentioned, who really love being a caregiver. So it would just be like any of us caring for our own family member. We would normally be trained as you require CPR, basic life support, but other than that, they learn as they go. They learn on the spot. Oftentimes, the caregivers that I have found, or they have found me, have had a background in taking care of a family member or a loved one in their past. So they do have some experience. The criteria for the actual homes, the medical foster homes, really, they have to be within 50 miles from the Kansas City VA. That general radius is what the home-based primary care team serves. So that primary care team sees veterans within 50 miles. So I am under that program as well. So that's the same radius for my program. So that serves quite a big range in the Kansas City area, from the north all the way down south. I've gone all the way down to like Osawatomie, Kansas in the past, all the way west and all the way east. So it's a wide range. The homeowner either owns their home or they rent, so they can rent their home. But what I would need from a renter would be an indication, a statement from their landlord indicating that the landlord is in approval of the medical foster home being in that rented home. The homes have to be provide the individual bedrooms furnishings, so just basic furnishings that they would normally have in their bedroom. If there's anything extras, then the veteran can bring their own items, but typically it's a bed, possibly a dresser, but not necessarily needed if the closet is significant. Maybe a nightstand, maybe a lamp. So pretty basic, but all the veterans have their own private rooms. Each home goes through a home inspection. So the home inspection is provided by our multidisciplinary primary care team. So I spearhead that and schedule those home inspections. The team includes myself, fire safety officer from the Kansas City VA, the physical therapist, the RN, and the dietitian. They all have a checklist, so they go through their checklist and kind of be sure that each home is up to par on what's needed for their safety inspections. The inspection team does their inspections upon opening a home, and then we do those annually. The benefits of the medical foster home. This is a very short list of the benefits, but you can see that these are actually a list that some veterans have indicated that they feel they benefit from being in the program. Certainly, an alternative to being in a facility is usually pretty high up there. Home cooking is also, I should probably move that to the top, but that's often mentioned pretty quickly, is they do enjoy the home cooked meals. Often the caregivers take pride in the nurturing of their home cooked meals. They think that they do feel that this is more affordable care. I know, with all of us being in healthcare, we know that assisted living or long-term facilities can be extremely expensive. So around $3,000 a month seems pretty affordable for this program. Yeah, so that is a short list of some of the benefits. This is just a few photos of some of the veterans in the program. This is actually taken from the Wichita program. When I was there last year, I snapped all these photos so I could actually put this presentation together so I can, build my program. But these are all veterans that are still currently in the program. And Wichita has a very thriving program. When I say thriving, I mean probably she has right now 6 homes, and each home has at least 2 or 3 veterans. So it's a very robust program from my, certainly from my point of view, and all the veterans. I got to meet all the veterans and the caregivers, and just kind of see what their daily life is in the program. And I would say hands down, all of the veterans that are in the program absolutely love it, and had nothing but positive things to say about living with their caregiver and truly loving their caregiver and the care that they're receiving. This is the one home that I have right now in the Kansas City VA. So this is Miss Sheila. She's the caregiver. And this is, I've got the consent to share this photo and Mr. Harrington's name so he can be part of my marketing program, my marketing efforts for the program. But this is Mr. Harrington in his home with Miss Sheila. And he is 91 years old. He was living in a nursing home, which his daughter was not really thrilled about. And she had heard about this program, reached out to me. I met with both of them and met with him in the nursing home, and was thrilled that they decided to come into the program. He's well nourished. He's happy, as you can see, and really loves being in Miss Sheila's home. And Mr. Harrington does go to Adult Day Center 3 days a week. So he's out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and loves going to the center and chooses to go to the center 3 days a week. All veterans that are in the program are eligible for adult daycare centers that the VA pays for. Promoting the program. Lots of opportunities for me to promote the program. This is a big part of the job. I'm always looking for caregivers. So anybody that's out in the audience, please share, the information about this program. I'll send, Bree will have the brochure, and you'll certainly have this PowerPoint, but feel free to share the brochure to your friends, family, colleagues. I'm a one-woman show, so I am the only person that does all of the facets of this program. including promoting. So I really rely on community partners to help share information about the program to help spread the word. So feel free to pass the brochure on to your own friends, neighbors, and colleagues. You can share the information to patients and their family members, because often patients are not aware of this program. If there is, if anybody in the audience, would like to have me present the program, to any of your other organizations or your departments, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I'm always promoting the program and doing presentations, so I'd be happy to come out either in person or doing a virtual presentation about the medical foster home. Okay, I am going to share a quick little video. So CBS did a small segment on Eye of America. They did a news segment about the program and interviewed a caregiver. I think she's in Baltimore, and 3 of her veterans that are in her home.
Senior citizens are veterans. In their later years, many of them face challenges to get the care they need. Now, the Department of Veterans Affairs is exploring a way to help. In tonight's Eye on America, CBS's James Brown reports on an approach that relies on the time-honored idea that there's no place like home.
Chantel Cross and her 2 kids sent 3 extra places for dinner. And Charles McCoopery, Peter Samaras, and Eckhart Teese couldn't be happier to have a seat at the table. The 3 men are part of what's called the Medical Foster Home Program.
You will play catch with John?
An innovative approach to an old problem. Taking care of veterans who need extra care later in life. It is what some of the advantages are of living here in a home as opposed to a nursing facility. It's nice here, and being in a nursing home, they just throw you away. They ignore you. But here we're like part of the family. All 3 men served in the military in the late 60s and early 70s. Charles in the Navy, Peter and Eckhart in the Army, which is the subject of some good-natured ribbing in their home. What do you guys like about each other? Nothing. He's like a brother.
Good job.
Chantel's career began in a nursing home, but she realized she could provide a more comfortable environment in her home.
Very good.
Medical professionals and social workers visit the vets. Chantel also takes them to services outside the home.
The daycare center they go to is wonderful. We take the guys out to the mall, let them do some walking. Somebody might want coffee, get them ice cream. Our caregivers treat the veterans as their own family.
Dana Cooper is the VA's Director of Home and Community Care. She oversees the Medical Foster Home Program.
The caregivers have to live in the home with the veteran, and so we really see that family bond and relationship.
It takes a different person to do this, Ms. Cooper.
Yeah.
Why?
I believe that every veteran has a right to remain and age in place and be with people who surround them with love.
Almost half of the veteran population is 65 and over. Nursing homes can cost over $100,000 per year out of pocket. The Medical Foster Program costs vets less than half that. Caregivers receive, on average, $2,800 per month from each veteran living in their home. Chantel, what do you get out of this?
A lot. It gives me a peace of mind to know that I'm able to help others and give back. I love helping others and I love giving back.
The program began in 2002 in Arkansas, Florida, and Puerto Rico. Today, it's found in 47 states where over 700 veterans receive home care from approximately 500 caregivers. How long do you envision yourself doing this?
Forever. I don't ever want to stop.
Any veteran enrolled in the VA system is eligible for this program, a program that serves as a powerful reminder about the healing power of home. For Eye on America, I'm James Brown in Baltimore.
There we go. Okay, and that concludes the brief presentation of the Medical Foster Home Program.
It seems like such a great program, and I only hope that it's just going to take off. my gosh, that's a lot of people up on the East Coast that already have this thriving program. That's
Yeah, it's a
crazy.
cool program because it is very compassionate. It's it's a hard sell. When I'm sharing the information out to the, communities, people really can't hardly believe that, people would actually open their homes and bring in a stranger essentially, and care for them, until end of life, and, I explained to the folks, that I'm talking to that, it obviously is not for most people, right? Just like fostering a child or, fostering a pet is not for most people. I mean, majority of people don't have the time, don't have the energy, don't have the bandwidth, but it really does take a special gold nugget, a little unicorn out there that I'm, seeking, that does have the love of being a foster caregiver, for somebody. And I'm hoping that it's for a senior. So that's really what I'm seeking, is additional caregivers to help grow this program in Kansas City. And hopefully, this next year, I can at least get a couple more homes. My goal last year when I started the program, I started in October of 2023. My goal for the entire year was to open one home, which I did. So the power of one, has happened, and really seeing that one veteran's life change, it is heartwarming because it truly has been life changing for him. The one thing that resonated with me when I saw, and met this veteran, at the nursing home is, 91 years old. He indicated to me that, he was in this nursing home and he was sitting there waiting to die. And now fast forward, he's been in the program he moved in the 1st of June. He's thriving. He is, probably put on 20 pounds. He goes up and down the stairs on his own. He does not need, he doesn't actually even want the stair glide. We've talked about a stair glide, in that home for him, but he's really, choosing not to. So he goes up and down the stairs with assistance, and then goes out to the adult day centers 3 days a week. I have visited him out in the adult day center, and when I popped out there, once to see him, I couldn't even find him. He was actually on the dance floor dancing with, another lady. So it was sweet. It was sweet to see that because I was like, oh wow, okay. Um, he is kicking it out there. So it's cool to see, lives being changed, really, one veteran at a time. So this next year, as we turn the corner of 2025, I am working on 2 more homes. They have currently gone through their federal background investigations. They've been cleared and got their ID badges. And I've got the home inspection scheduled on the 17th for one and working on the second home. So hopefully, in the beginning of this year, I can open both of those homes successfully. And move veterans into those homes.
That's awesome. That makes my heart happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Me too. And the other thing though too is I can accept referrals from the community. So if anybody at North Kansas City or any other agency in the city wants to reach out to me directly, they just contact me through email or on my work cell phone. It's on the brochure as well and on this front of this PowerPoint. But they can just reach out to me directly. They can, if they have anything to bounce off of me, if they're unsure if the veteran is eligible for the program, or just have questions in general, they can just reach out to me. It's a very, like I said, I'm a one-woman show, so I answer my calls and field those questions.
Yeah, such a rewarding program for the veteran and the caregiver. And I'm sure there's just so many questions that these people are going to have on both ends. And
Yep.
so I encourage you guys that are watching, please reach out to Kimberly, get those questions answered. Forward this on to your people in your church and your neighbors and your family, and just let them know because you never know who might be interested in doing something like this. And it just takes
Yep.
word of mouth. And I think this is, I just heard about your program a couple months ago. So I think just getting the word out and kind of changing what care looks like for a veteran is amazing. So it's just going to take time to kind of snowball that, I hope.
Yep, I agree. Yep, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Can you still hear me? It looks like something changed on my end, but okay. Yeah, well, thank you. If there's any questions, reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to field those questions. Any suggestions, any marketing ideas, I am open for feedback. I am not a marketing person. I'm a clinical social worker. So being thrown into the marketing, promoting world has been a whole new arena for me. So just getting out there and presenting this information is really kind of the start of this. But I really rely on, all of you guys in the community just to help spread the word. Like I said, just planting the seed. It might be something that, is interesting to others. Maybe they're not ready now. Maybe, 6 months, a year from now, they're ready. I've had all kinds of people call and reach out about the program at different phases in their lives. I had somebody reach out to me recently who is, retiring from nursing, but still wants to be a caregiver, would love to do something in that capacity. That even though she's got a nursing background, she wouldn't be the nurse for the veteran since we have the medical care provided in the home. But again, it is still being a caregiver and a nurturing role, and being able to work from home was very appealing to this person. So it really can be a whole range of different scenarios for each person.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Kimberly, with your program. And I want to thank you guys for joining us today and have a good one.
Thanks, Bree. Take care. Appreciate it. Bye bye.